So when we think about our practice, it's an ecosystem where something we do in one area affects things in other areas as well. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. Um, and, I think we've all had the experience in our practice where we put a system in place. And we think that that system is embedded like in bedrock in your practice. Like it's there. And then over time, that system just evaporates into ether. I think if it was a live audience and I asked that question, how many of you have put a system in place in your practice and discover later that it's completely disappeared? I think everybody in the room would raise their hand, including me. That happened in our own practice when we worked on putting these systems in place. I thought they were there. I thought they were embedded, but many of them evaporated. And I think the reason that happens, this could be many reasons, but one of the reasons that happens is the system isn't tied to a specific KPI that we can measure. When we have something we can measure, we can manage it. Peter Drucker famously said, Peter Drucker is considered by many to be the father of the science of business management. And Peter Drucker famously said, you can't manage what you don't measure.
Right.
And so if you have systems in place that are just kind of like paperwork procedural and they're not leading to something specific in the practice, those systems are going to evaporate because people start to see them as busy work. And they don't, and even the doctor starts to see it as less than critical. It's a less than critical operation. So what I want to do in this coaching and action segment is I want to introduce the 9 KPIs, what I think are the most important KPIs to measure. And then we're going to go back and tie them to specific systems in the practice. And when you put when you weave that together, the 9 KPIs with these systems, you end up having a recipe to drive your practice forward, to drive it. And that's something that you can keep driving to new levels of, there's always a new level of performance. There's always another level to achieve. And that way we can have, continuous improvement in the practice.